Hola, buenos días.
Yes, your daughter
Everybody
said
knows,
that was a parent power grab that you're in the midst of?
Yeah.
Yeah, she
She
filibustered
went
it?
Mitch McConnell on me. She filibustered it, yeah. When you sing, when a child wants you to sing happy birthday at their birthday party, they are trying to grab the power. Make it all about them. Yeah, because nobody ever sang happy birthday to me, because I never had a cake. I just had lettuce.
Here's Mitch McConnell explaining that up is actually down and black is white. Okay.
It's a recipe for undermining confidence in our elections. We're remaking our entire system of government to suit the preferences of one far end of the political spectrum.
No.
And if they could, many Democrats would pass it with the slimmest possible majority, even after its companion faced bipartisan opposition over in the House. What a craven political calculation. What a way to show your disdain for the American people's choices.
No, it's
Oh
not.
my God. That was Mitch McConnell talking about what is a craven political calculation. Mitch McConnell, Carlos, was talking about. Okay. And also, obviously, bills to suppress as many people voting as possible is what now? That shows disdain for the American people's choices? Really? And what is it? 80% of the American people are for this, for the voting, all of these voting rights things that are in this bill.
Elections have consequences only when we win.
Thank you. Okay, is this Madam or Flowers? I can never remember. Senator John Kennedy?
I think it's Madam and Flowers' love child.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Speaker Pelosi and Senator Schumer call it, I think, the For the People Act, but I think it'd be more aptly described as Screw the People Act.
How?
It will make it much easier to cheat in an election.
No. Carlos, Chuck Schumer went off yesterday and said it best. What do any of these things have to do with voter fraud? Shortening voting hours. You can't vote by mail. I'm going to take this drop box. I'm going to put one drop box for how many, millions of people in a.
Yeah.
You can't. I'm going to make sure that voting isn't until Sunday night, so you can't do vote for souls to the polls from black churches. I mean, no, you can't give water to someone in line. It's none of it has anything to do with voter fraud.
As if, they cut down my cheating hours. Well, I guess I'm going to play fair this election.
Right.
It makes no sense at all.
14. Chuck, let's just finish with Senator Schumer yesterday.
Earlier today, the Republican leader told reporters that, quote, regardless of what may be happening in some states, there's no rationale for federal intervention. The Republican leader flatly stated that no matter what the states do to undermine our democracy, voter suppression laws, phony audits, partisan takeovers of local election boards, the Senate should not act.
It's exactly, if it were the other way around, exactly what Mitch McConnell would be doing. It's only because they control some of these states, so they can do all these, these cheating voting bills trying to suppress the vote. And because, that now they're like, oh, enough for a federal takeover. If it were reversed, they would absolutely, do whatever they can. It's all about them just keeping power however they can by, suppressing the vote. One more, Chuck Schumer.
My colleagues, if senators 60 years ago held that the federal government should never intervene to protect voting rights, this body would have never passed the Voting Rights Act. The Republican leader uses the language and the logic of the Southern senators in the 60s who defended states' rights, and it is an indefensible position for any senator, let alone the minority leader, to hold.
Yeah, why does it seem like states' rights always, code for racism when it comes to Republicans, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, why are we singing the national anthem? Why are we standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? If it's all about their states' rights and letting them do without federal intervention, what is this concept of the United States if everybody in every state can't vote, can't have easy access to voting, can't have universal voter registration, can't have water? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get this jingoism.
And this goes to every subject. Carlos, you and I talk all the time about, COVID, but anti-vaxxers, mask holes, COVIDians, whatever. This whole White House says we will fall short of the July 4th vaccination goal. Again, I was saying, what segment is that people that actively didn't want Joe Biden to reach this, even though it means you or your family getting sick or dying, right? I mean, it's they acknowledge that we'll fall, and again, slightly short. This is what's so ridiculous. We were, Carlos, I believe at 2% vaccinated when Biden took over. We are at almost 70. July 4th, we will be 30-year-olds and over. We will be at 70. 70, I believe actually by July 4th, it'll be 27 and over. So it's the younger segment that we really have to focus on. But yeah, we will miss the president's goal of having 70% of adult Americans with at least one COVID vaccine shot. He said the 70%. Oh, here we go. Yeah, U.S. will have 70% of people 27 and older with at least one COVID shot by July 4th weekend, but it'll take a few extra weeks to reach the 70% of all U.S. adults. We are on track to get 160 million adults vaccinated no later than mid-July, right? We are already at 150 million, I believe, which is amazing. Yeah, based on 4 months.
And when you say adults, you mean the ones that are adult enough to get the vaccine.
Yeah, correct, Carlos, exactly. He said they're now focused, the administration, on getting younger Americans, particularly 18 to 26-year-olds, vaccinated. He's the Delta variant now spreading across the country, infecting younger people worldwide. He said it is more important than ever they get vaccinated. It's, Carlos, I was saying it is amazing. We were talking about Israel, for instance. There's just, hang on. I have a whole COVID stack this morning. Israel has recommended vaccinating teenagers following several coronavirus outbreaks clustered around schools, with even fully vaccinated people contracting the virus as authorities blame the Delta variant. You have kids, so this is something you're going to be interested in.
It's very scary.
It came after Israel removed nearly all of its coronavirus restrictions following a dramatic decrease in cases. By the way, India was doing really well before they started having big open-air festivals, unmasked, and they not unvaccinated, and now look at where they are. So anyway, they're 9 fully vaccinated teachers contracted the virus. In response to the outbreak, the health ministry called for a widening of the vaccination campaign to include children for 12 to 15 and ordered students to wear masks in schools. This is Israel, where they have vaccine passports. They had, Anyway, but so I'm just to see if I missed anything here. Yeah, a weak link in Israel's world-beating COVID vaccination roll. They were like and they were sort of model for the rest of the world.
Beacon.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Until now, adolescents have found themselves on the front line of the campaign with fears of the Delta variant, prompting reluctant parents to get their kids vaccinated. And Carlos, be interested to hear where you are on this. About 3/4 of Israelis in eligible groups have received the Pfizer vaccine, but that included only 2 to 4% of 12 to 15-year-olds. So then they dropped all the social distancing, and here you are. So, I mean, if I were a parent, Carlos, and my kid was 12 or up, I would get them vaccinated yesterday. Where are you on that?
Absolutely. If they go through the proper testing, and the experts in the epidemiology field say that it's going to be safe for kids that are kids my age, we're going to go ahead and do it. Because the alternative is to be infected from COVID. And I think we're mistaken as a country if we think that children dying is going to move the needle for those people at all, because we already know from gun violence that really doesn't do it. A couple of kids at Sandy Hook, meh.
Yeah, here. That's a good and depressing point. Thank you. But I will say, Israel knows one thing. As I was saying, it's self-preservation. And appointments for 12 to 15-year-old vaccinations doubled and tripled in the last few days.
Good.
So something happens there, they react to it, which is what I was saying, right, about Australia. Like, they had one case, they locked down, it's gone now. That's what I'm saying, is we just know what other country has this number of COVIDiots and mask holes, right? That if you look, No, go ahead.
The unfortunate part is that the anti-vaxxers are weighing against a perfection that this vaccine needs to have. There needs to be zero side effects, zero complications, and that's just not the real world. Right. The vaccine is not going to be perfect.
Well, I mean,
some people will have
pretty damn close. We've never had a vaccine that's 95% effective, and with side effects really incredibly rare in terms of. I mean,
pretty rare.
It's Experts say there will be no herd immunity. The younger generation is not vaccinated. And Carlos, we've been talking about this Delta variant is really actually scary. The World Health Organization said the Delta coronavirus variant was the fastest moving and fittest variant to date. It's bionic. It's a bionic variant. We knew this would come. With the ability to find and kill the weakest people, it has the potential to be more lethal because it's more efficient in the way it transmits between humans. The doctor also said the Delta variant will eventually find those vulnerable individuals who become severely ill, have to be hospitalized, and potentially die. This particular variant is faster. It's fitter. It will pick off the more vulnerable more efficiently than previous variants. Therefore, if there are people left without vaccination, they remain at even further risk, which terrifies me for my 70-something-year-old anti-vaxxer friend. But we were saying Delta appears to be 60% more transmissible than the Alpha variant, which was already 50% more transmissible than the original coronavirus variant.
Yes. Yeah. Here's the point I wanted to make, because I have some anti-vaxxer friends that say my nutrition and my health regimen will keep me from getting sick from COVID. Well, then wouldn't it help you from keeping from getting sick from the side effects of vaccine? How come your nutrition only works for your point of view?
My friend's like,
you're not going to. Sense.
Last Christmas, she's like, you're not going to get COVID with your, immune system and you're so healthy. Guess what? I got COVID. Lots of young, healthy
athletes
healthy
get
people.
it. Professional athletes.
Yes. So here's, again, Carlos, further evidence. 2 people are dead. 4 of their coworkers hospitalized after a COVID outbreak struck a government building in Manatee County, Florida. The outbreak began in the IT department. Of the 6 people infected, 5 were hospitalized. The only exposed employee in the IT office who was vaccinated did not get infected. Oh, it's so hard to figure out. The only person who was vaccinated, like what? It just, Carlos, it's sort of these red states. It baffles me. The science is so clear. The data is so clear. It is your own. I feel like if you don't have anything, don't you have your own self-preservation instincts? That you're seeing all this data. So and here's the other stupid thing in Florida. They reopened the building Monday, but didn't implement a mask requirement, instead keeping that optional. You can't keep masks and vaccination optional.
Nope. You're never going to beat it. It's an American arrogance problem. We're tougher than the vaccine. All we need is to have our health. Ain't no way, no germs. And if I don't get it, it's selfish. Yeah. I'm going to be okay. It's about other people.
Yeah. It's like Dr. Rutherford said, it's drunk driving. You might think it's only a risk to you, but it's not. I mean, in this part, it's just all of the deaths, the CDC said at this point, are entirely preventable. The U.S. is still currently averaging more than 200 deaths every day. Numbers could increase as the Delta variant becomes the dominant strain in the country. Dr. Fauci said the Delta variant is currently the greatest threat to the elimination of coronavirus in the U.S. because of what we just said, more transmissible, more deadly. He said, however, all available vaccines are still effective against the Delta variant, meaning, obviously primarily poses a risk to the but also our vaccines don't work as well, so it poses some risk to us, right? And then, you say, the more people that don't get vaccinated, even more virulent strains that our vaccines will not prevent against are going to develop.
Eventually, we'll be having to get the boosters, but the people that complain about recall Gavin Newsom, he shut down everything. Well, they're going to shut down everything again.
Right.
So stop getting to your rallies about repealing a governor and get to a place where you can get vaccinated.
That's what I mean. Look at India.
Then you won't have to shut down.
Right. Look at India. Look at Israel. This can happen again. And if you look at the red states, it absolutely can start in the red states. Virginia became the 16th state to reach the 70% goal by July 4th, but only 16 states, have reached the goal. And but the red states, it's horrifying. Some of the lower states, it's like literally, right, like 15% vaccinated.
Come on, Mississippi, get your vaccination, get your supper on, your vittles.
Free vittles. Maybe we should offer free vittles.
That's the one thing they do.
As Carlos would say in the deedly states.
Supper's on, vittles is ready. Come on, get it. Free vaccination with the free vittles on supper.
Maybe just sneak the vaccine in the vittles. Something.
Yep.
We got to get creative. Okay. Maybe you make it. What are those chiggers? Those little bugs in the south.
Chiggers.
Maybe we make them carry the vaccine somehow.
You could train them.
That's right.
I got chigger. I don't know why. That made me laugh harder than anything Carlos said during my late night show in 1995. He was playing.
I went down the fishing hole.
He was playing a dealy character in overalls. Remember, no shirt, overalls. And I remember you just went, "I got chigger butts on my arms," and then I broke character. I broke character and laughed. Exploded in laughter. I think I was playing Anna Nicole Smith, as I recall. Was I not?
I think so. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
and you just got right up in my face and said, I got chicken vouch on my arms. And that wasn't in the script, was it, Carlos? No.
I don't think so. I think that was what they called the improvisation.